Good morning, everybody. Victor here. It's the 2024 Mullet Run. We got my boy Tyler from Sun's out fishing over there. Say what's up.
What's up?
And we are walking the beach right now trying to look for these bait fish known as mullets. So every year around the fall time or end of summer, we get this big mass migration of mullet that come down the Atlantic coast. And there are a lot of predators right behind them, talking about kingfish, tarpon, snook, jacks, all sorts of fish. These mullet push down our beaches, and we as fishermen are going to intercept them, try to get on a good bite. We heard there's been a lot of snook in the area, so we're going to try to find these fish. We already threw the drone up in the air in the parking lot, saw a bunch of explosions, so we're going to head over to that area. This is a great way to get some exercise in as a fisherman. The amount of steps you do following these mullet up and down the beach will definitely shock you. It's really hard to see right now. The water's not very clear and it's pretty murky, pretty choppy. But what we're looking for are these really dark shadows. A lot of times it's really easy to spot on the drone. And I've been doing this for a long time now. And you would think with something like a mullet, you'd want to throw a cast net on, but that's the worst thing you can do as a fisherman fishing these pods. Because every time you throw that net, all the fish around, all the predatory fish get spooked. So what we like to do is simple snag rig. So I just got a bunch of treble hooks in line, some leader and a weight. And I can kind of see these mullet just kind of flickering on top. So I'm going to go ahead and cast in the middle of the school, try to snag one and send them out. There we go. We got a mullet. Officially the first mullet of the mullet run. I like to bring them in nice and slow so that way that hook doesn't pull. Yep. Woo! You see that tarpon, Dennis? That is what we're after, boys and girls. So there's thousands and millions of these bait fish known as mullet. This is a silver mullet right here. And that is what we're going to be using as bait with the snag rig. And the way I like to have this set up, so I got a 3-ounce egg sinker, some 60-pound tough line fluoro, and I like to hook my mullet right here in the tail. This way they swim away from me. They swim away from the tension. We're going to cast them out. And what I like is, instead of free lining them, if you free line them, the mullet's going to sit on top. I want my mullet to be distinguished from the other mullet and to get hit. So I'm looking for the area of where they're really getting blown up, and that's where I'm going to cast. So there's a lot of this little seaweed which you guys will be able to see on my line, and that's not good because it creates a lot of drag. As that seaweed piles on your line, your mullet can't sit in one spot. Snook and Tarpon isn't going to eat it when all this mucky seaweed is on there. But you just got to deal with it. We just made a little move further down the beach. These fish are constantly moving. The Snook and Tarpon are always pushing that mullet school, so we're just always trying to be in like the dead heat of the action.
Let's go, baby. I don't know what this is going to be. I hope it's going to be a snook. It kind of feels like one. Took a nice little blistering run right there. Now he's coming in.
All right, Tyler just put a nice snook on the beach already. First one. I'm switching a rod because the rod that I had on earlier just not quite long enough to get the mullet where I want it to be in the strike zone. Hell yeah, brother!
Hell yeah, brother! Big thank you to Victor right here for having me out. What's up?
There we go.
There we go.
Nice snook on the beach.
Let's go.
There's nothing like that first cast when your bait is in there and your mullet is freaking out. That first and second cast, your mullet's super lively, putting out a ton of vibration, and that's what you want to get bit. You got to think of it. These snook, your bait is basically a needle in a haystack. They can gorge themselves on a lot of mullet with no hooks in them. So you got to single yours out to make them look presentable. And vibration is key. I want my mullet, I want to feel my line bouncing the whole time.
I just saw a snook ride that wave like it was Victor on a surfboard. That was so freaking cool.
What's up, man?
What's up? You literally got me fishing. Like your catch and cook videos got me fishing, bro.
That's
awesome.
one of the
best
things
Especially the snakehead exotic catch and cook, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I want. All your catch and cook are the best, bro.
Where are you guys from?
Miami, man.
Yeah. Holy moly,
I'm in
you
Pines,
sent
bro.
it. We got 2 subscribers on the beach.
My name is Camille from Acosta Fishing. Joey Gordito Fishing Inc. Let me know.
you guys see us on the water, always say what's up.
The best YouTuber out there.
I appreciate it, appreciate it.
And we didn't even force him to say that.
And we didn't even catch anything.
Oh, tarpon on, let's go, baby. Oh, that's a perfect size one. Cold? Ah, bummer. All right, so basically we were about to leave this beach and we're walking and it's crazy because you see so many fish and it looks so promising. So we decided we were gonna give it one last ditch effort. I started throwing the free line. Victor just waded out 50, 60 yards out into the ocean. He already got stung by a jellyfish and he got rewarded that time with a nice tarpon. Look at that sting right there.
There's some jellyfish out there, boys and girls, but now this is 2 times in a row. Wading out there, you get your bait a little bit further out, and I think that's the ticket to today. I just had a nice like 60, 70 pound tarpon on, just jumped me off, but I gotta get back out there. So we're just driving up and down A1A. Dennis got the drone in the air trying to find these mullet, but the boys are hungry, so I think it's time for a little lunch break. So I got 3 meals from Cook Unity for the boys. I actually discovered Cook Unity back in March and have loved their meals ever since. Brookie packed us a nice little lunch today. She left me a little note. Thank you very much, babe. This is not even warmed up and they look amazing. Al Pastor bowl, slow cooked beef, Cuban pork. We gotta feed these guns right here. Look at this. Big boys gotta eat. As you can always tell when food is good, if you can eat it cold without it heating up. Cuban pork, perfectly seasoned. You got the little pickled red onion. You got some plantains.
The sauce is really, really good.
You guys know how seriously we take food on the channel. I would not promote something that I wholeheartedly did not believe in. And I can honestly tell you this food is amazing.
I've tried a few meal plans in the past. It's definitely top notch.
Excellent, super tender.
Cook Unity is the first chef-to-consumer platform delivering freshly prepared, pre-selected meals right to your door weekly. Cook Unity connects a diverse group of talented chefs that cook delicious, inventive meals, fresh every day in regional micro kitchens, not warehouse production facilities. I love that Cook Unity is super flexible. You can pause, skip weeks, or cancel at any time. Perfect for Brook and I's chaotic travel schedule. They offer a wide range of meals with over 7 different dietary preference filters, including vegan, paleo, and gluten-free options. I love the quality of the meals and the fact they come from real award-winning chefs. Best part is meals come delivered fully cooked, so all you have to do is heat them up, saving us time on cleanup and meal planning. Last night I had the butter chicken topped with cilantro by Chef Vidya Mahara, and Brooke had the hungry vaquero meal by Chef Maribel Rivero. If you guys want your taste buds blown away, go to cookunity.com/landshark50 or click the link in the description below and use my code landshark50 to get 50% off your first order of Cook Unity meals to try them out yourselves. You guys, we just rolled up to the beach. It's a little bit calmer than it was earlier. It looks like that weed subdued a little bit and the fish are biting. There's tarpon airing out everywhere. You see snook busting. This looks 10 times better than this morning. We just got fueled up with some lunch, took a little break in the AC, and it looks good. No one else fishing the school but us, so fingers crossed we're gonna put a few fish on the beach here.
It's fighting hard. Vic, it's Jack. Jack. All right, check it out. Jack for ball. Just another fish that likes to torment the mullet as they're coming down the beach. These things come by in the dozens and just attack the mullet. And it's a sick fish. This thing fought super hard like you guys saw. And we're gonna get it back, get another bait out there, and hopefully try to get a snook or a tarpon. But this was a great little fight and a nice welcome addition here in the mullet run.
So the last time you guys saw us was probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. we had a really early push of mullet. So we just rolled up to the beach. There's pods of mullet everywhere, but nothing really defined and distinct. They're kind of really scattered, not too many predators working them. A lot of people, a lot of bait, just doesn't look like a lot of fish. So there's a guy just to the north of us hooked up, and then the two people that we just met on the beach, they said they got a bite. Me, I'm like, if I'm not getting a bite in 2 seconds, I'm always looking to see what I could do differently. Looks like there's mullet everywhere. There's a really big school down there. Our buddy Adam's down there, but he's not answering his phone, like a bad friend, sandbagging us. And you never know whether or not you should move. Because even though there's this much bait, a lot of times the fish will just concentrate on one end of the school, either the north end or the south end, and that's where all the activity is. So I don't know if I'm just being impatient or we should make a move here. I'm starting to see a lot more explosions right here in the trough. The trough is the area between, basically like a big dip, right where you enter the water, where it gets real deep. Snook tarpon will kind of cruise there. Dennis! Dennis! There it is. Man, it is insta-bite. I tell you what, if you can get a bait out there, you're bit. Feels like a really good snook right here. How long was that? 12 seconds I was out there?
I timed it perfectly.
Woo! Oh yeah, that's a good snook, guys. That's a real good snook. It is beautiful out here. Got a really nice swell, which I like. I think it keeps the fish active. Look, an osprey just got a mullet right there. That was so cool. Yeah, this Saragosa's seen better days. She's a little squirrely. Now I'm gonna try to use the leverage of those waves to get this fish to come right up on the beach. As that wave recedes, I let him go easy, and then when it comes in, I try to use that to push that snook up onto the beach. Just like this, little by little. Just like that, come on. One more wave. Nice overslot. That is what we come here for. Gorgeous overslot snook. That fish is probably 40 inches. All breeded out. This is a female snook. Turn female when they get a certain size. All the big ones are females, the small ones are males. These fish are post-spawn. Mullet are coming down the coast. They're about to gorge themselves. Absolutely beautiful fish. Look at that mouth too. They got a wicked, crazy mouth. Very abrasive, like sandpaper. Can't keep this guy. A little bit too big. A lot too big. They gotta be between 28 and 32 inches, but we're gonna release this girl.
Compared to the last time, what has changed?
Oh man, so last time you guys saw, there was so much weed in the water. Fish were active, fish were here. When there's that much weed in the water, it gets on your line, it gets on the bait, creates a lot of drag. Doesn't look natural, number one. Snook are very smart, they don't like weed on the line.
It's snook season.
Oh, it's snook season, so yeah, we could keep, if we get one between 28 and 32 inches, one's going home for the dinner table. So it looks like that this section of the mullet school is way more active than right here, and that's what I like to look for, all the tarpon and snook busting them. Because even though there's bait everywhere, those fish will kind of just concentrate in one area and work that school. Oh, big thump, Dennis. Big thump. And this one's charging the beach. Woo! And this one just ran right at me, and now it's doing the same thing. They feel safe in that shallow water. Took a minute, probably fished like 4 baits before we got this one hit. I think it's just gonna be a grind right now. They're not really in that feeding mood. There he is, right in the waves. You know what, I'm gonna put a tape on this one. I know he's probably over slot, but I just want to see for curiosity's sake. Yeah, Dennis, he is 34 inches, so this fish is too big. They got to be between 28 and 32 inches in the state of Florida to keep. Okay, we got snook number 2. Dennis has a rod and 2 cameras straddled to him, so let's get this fish back in. I love how clean these snook are. So right now, this time of year, still a lot of snook in the beaches, the inlets, jetties, and as we get more into fall and winter time, they'll push back up into the rivers, spillways and such. But this time of year, they're so clean. They take on the color of their environment. Those backwater snook get real gold. These beach snook are just pristine looking, you know what I mean? Clean. So there's that chafe leader like I was telling you about. I basically change it on every single fish. I'll just cut my tag end and retie right about there. There it is. Right on the outside edge of the spool. Got a snook. Dennis is flying the drone. He's in the truck right now. I can see the drone right in front of me. Nice snook. Not sure if it'll be slot or not. Probably going to be too big to keep. Which is fun. I like catching these overs. Big fish. Right here with this wave. There it is, Dennis. There's a little drone snook action for you. That's number 3 of the day. Circle hook, right in the corner, doing what it's supposed to do. This one's big, big. This fish is probably 40 inches, all spawned out. Looks like it's got a crooked, broken back. We'll wait until this swell comes through. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Victor. Yeah. It's really good here. 3 bites in a row. 1 fish landed. Fish are feeding. Dennis and I went and grabbed some breakfast real quick. We're back at it.
I saw so many snook cruising within the mullet.
It's so sick. It's flat calm, just a little bit of swell. Mullet are pushed right up against the beach. It's like perfect conditions right now. Mullet! Guess what, guys? Get your grimy hands out of there. We got our slot snook. My buddy just caught one down there by the beach. He donated it to the Land Shark Fund. So we got ourselves a catch clean snook right here. Pretty little fish, right around the 32-inch mark, just under it. This is about like the smallest fish that are out here right now. Most of them are between that like 32 to 40-inch range. Sometimes when there's this much bait, it's tough to get a bite. I prefer the really small compact schools, because then the tarpon can really single out your bait. I'll show you guys a little trick. I'm gonna go swimming, get my mullet out there as far as possible.
Victor is way out there now. I'm surprised he's touching bottom. Dude. Victor's taking surf fishing to a next level. Vic's on, Vic's on, Vic's on.
Pretty sure we got a shark on. Hasn't jumped. Sometimes the tarpon don't jump right away. But I had my mullet just pinned to the outside edge of that school. Not sure what it is, but it is not a snook. We've been seeing a lot of black tips on the chain for this school. And that's what I think it is. Which I'm happy about. You know, as a land-based fisherman, growing up, this is what I used to do a lot of. I didn't have a boat. All I did was fish piers, bridges, jetties, beaches, and this is like the pinnacle for land-based fishermen. Big tarpon, snook, jacks, sharks, all from the beach. I think it's a shark. Hasn't jumped. It's got to be a shark.
I think that guy's
I think so. Should be over you.
Yeah.
No jump, so I think it's a shark.
Big redfish.
Huh? Big redfish, yeah. How sick would that be?
Pretty sure that's what the other guy has too.
Yeah. Woo! Dude, this reel's so crusty. This Saragosa's seen some seasons. You could hear that roller bearing just on its last breath. But oh, it is a tarpon. It's a tarpon that never jumped, Dennis. Where's Alec? You want to grab it? It's a tarpon. Yeah, it just never jumped. If we get this, if we land this fish, picture perfect day in the mullet run. I've never in my life caught a tarpon that didn't jump at least one time. Huh?
Did it ever jump?
Not one time. Have you ever seen a tarpon that hasn't jumped?
It's the final countdown. Let's see what happens. Can Vic make it happen?
Well, you're the final countdown. The guy in the leader is important. He doesn't like that shallow water. The hardest part right here, that trough is super deep, so normally you could go in and grab them, but it's tough. Get your head, it's fine. Just get your head. Woo! It's right there, it's right in front of the line, straight ahead. You see it floating? It's about to be on the top of the wave. Dude, Alec is so blind. Alec is one of my most blind friends, and out of everyone on the beach, we send him out to get it. It's underneath his feet, and he's like, where is it?
Dude, it's impossible to see.
Watch out behind you! Alex, right here, right here, right here, all the way up on the beach, all the way up on the beach, right there. Yeah.
That's what the mullet run's all about right there.
That picture perfect day. You come up here, you see tarpon and snook blowing up everywhere. You're with your best buds. 3 snook in the morning. Was not expecting that fish. Nice 100-pound tarpon. Never seen him jump, which was crazy, so I was treating it like a shark the whole time. My buddy Alec went in there, grabbed him, left him in the water. Tarpon, you're not supposed to bring on dry sand if they're above 40 pounds, so we did our best to keep them in the water. Just right here supporting it with her body weight. Send her off, she's swimming away, great. That fish was probably done in like 15 minutes or so. That's what the mullet run's all about. Stoked with your boys, all these people on the beach. Just doesn't get better than this. And we got snook for dinner. Can you beat that, Dennis? Can you beat that? Just visually seeing it, I always tell people, even if you don't catch anything on a day like today, you're sitting here and witnessing one of nature's greatest events. Tarpon, snook, jacks, sharks, cruising the waves, mullet erupting everywhere. It's just such a sight to see. Thank you, brother.
I wasn't my best landing job, but
dude, we gotta get you some prescriptions.
These are prescriptions. But they're Costa, they're not waterless.
Alec. Okay guys, we had our snook sitting on ice overnight. Sharp gill plate. If you're ever dealing with snook, they can seriously mess you up. Snook do not like cold water. So I just went in right here behind the gill plate, swivel around, get all that head meat, and I'm actually using the back of the blade. This is a dual edge Dextreme, and you guys can actually save 20% off. Use my code Landshark on all Dexter knives. And I really like this knife for scaly fish like snook, snapper, sheep's head, triple tail, because it gets effortlessly through those thick scales. I mean, you see those scales are pretty crazy. These fish are nicknamed soap fish, not because of the meat tasting like soap, but apparently this is one fish you do not want to eat the skin, because apparently their skin has a soap-like taste. Very white meat on these guys. I'm gonna grill this fish, but a lot of people love to make snook into something like ceviche, crudo, sushi, because of their very mild white meat and flavor. So right here above the rib cage, down on the other side of that backbone. Also, morphology wise, there's really nothing like them. I can't think of a single fish I could really compare them to. They're very unique in that. They're also very unique in the sense that us as Floridian fishermen, this is not a fish that's sold commercially in the US. You can only keep these guys. There's no commercial market in the US. The only way you're gonna get to experience this fish is if you're a licensed fisherman in the state of Florida, which is pretty cool to think that this is a fish that not a lot of people get to experience or enjoy unless you got a Florida fishing license. And you need a special snook stamp for these guys as well, kind of like you need a special lobster stamp. YouTube gives us a bunch of analytics of viewers and stuff on the channel. Noticed a lot of you guys watch the videos but aren't subscribed, so if you could do me a huge favor subscribe if you haven't already. It would really help me out, and it helps you guys out to notify you when we upload a new video. So now I'm just skinning this fish out, going from the tail to the head, keeping in mind that I do have that extra edge on the back of the blade. I don't want to cut myself. So just removed the skin. Now we're going to remove these pin bones right here. Go on both sides of them. Remove those pin bones. We got our snook on the platter. We're going to make a really delicious sriracha, honey, ponzu, sweet chili kind of marinade to throw them on the grill. And the only dry thing that these snook are going to see is some salt. I'm going to salt both sides because that sauce we're going to put on top of them is super flavorful with a lot going on. So we're going to salt both sides. For this marinade, I have a bunch of minced garlic, okay, sweet chili. I'm going to put some sweet chili in there. We're going to do a little yuzu ponzu. It's kind of like a soy sauce, but it's got a good citrusy flavor as well. Some sesame oil. And then we got a little habanero sriracha honey going in there. I want this to get a little acid flavor in there, so we're gonna do the juice of half of a lime. These are giant limes, they barely fit in here. And now we give it a mix. Okay, we're gonna get some fresh herbs going in this mixture too. Let's get some cilantro going, as well as some scallion. That scallion's gonna get nice and caramelized once it hits the heat. Oh yeah. Look at how good that looks. That is a lot of flavor in that bowl right there. Okay, so let's start putting our sauce on the fish. I'm gonna put it on the not so nice side first, so that way they're on both sides, and then we're gonna flip them and get it on the other side. I know a lot of you guys, like when I meet you in person, you say it's hard to keep up with the recipes, but it's all just to eyeball and to taste. Just add things a little bit at a time until it tastes right for you. If you like it spicier, saltier, more acidic, that's what I tell people. Cooking should be fun. It should be an experiment. It should be, it shouldn't be stressful. Just go, play along with it as you go, and have fun with it. It shouldn't be intimidating. I just threw a bunch of stuff together. Okay, we're gonna make this with some jasmine rice. I have here in the saute pan. Drizzled it with some olive oil. We're gonna toast the rice a little bit before we put the water on and start simmering. And also just have 3 big garlic cloves in there as well. Give it some aroma and flavor. Okay, we got our fish all seasoned up. Camp Chef Woodwind Pro set to 400 degrees. I love this thing because you can basically just set it and forget it. If you guys have never cooked on a wood pellet grill, it is amazing for a lot of things, and fish is one of them. You don't get the direct heat, so you don't really dry out your fish. You gotta think of this as like a grill, but also an oven. It's indirect heat. You got a lot of good wood-fired flavor from those wood chips. We're gonna let that go and just check it every 5-10 minutes and see how it's doing. Okay, so for our salad dressing, we already juiced, I think it was 4 limes, put some cilantro in there, and I just really like to experiment with salad dressing, so this is just a juice I've been drinking throughout the week, passion orange guava. It's gonna be sweet, it's gonna be tangy. We're gonna put some of that in there. Salad dressings are incredibly easy to make and so much better homemade. Hit it with a lot of freshly cracked pepper, a bunch of garlic, olive oil. Okay, we're gonna put some mustard in there to emulsify it so that the way the oil and the acid doesn't separate. You know what? Since we have this out, we're gonna do a little bit of that yuzu ponzu. It's also really salty, so that'll be a good flavor as well. Okay, some salt. And we still have some green onion left over, so we're gonna go in with some green onion as well. Wow, look at that. all that sauce bubbling. Man, that snook is tender, I tell you what.
What temperature you looking for?
145. It's above it, but I kind of want that juice to caramelize a little bit. Let's give it 2 more minutes. We got our beautiful salad dressing. We're just got some mixed greens, red pepper, matchstick carrots, tomatoes, and cucumber. And just drizzle this right on top. And then we're gonna put this on at the very end, some crispy noodles, so that way they don't get soggy. So we got our garlic jasmine rice. Look at that fall apart. There you go, enjoy.
Thank you. Well, what a delightful lunch. We don't always get invited to lunch over here. It's usually dinner, and man, this is spectacular. Snook was always one of my favorite fish before we ever owned a boat. I always felt like it was one of the best eating fish that a land-based fisherman could get his hands on. So I've always enjoyed snook, and this is cooked to perfection. I don't think I've ever grilled it this well. It's delicious. Good job, man.
Thank you.
I agree, it's very good. But Snook's one of those ones that's almost like a hidden secret where only fishermen get to enjoy it. Because Dennis and I were talking about how you don't see it on menus ever. And I think that it would be something everyone would enjoy, but since you don't see it, not a lot of people get to enjoy it. So it's kind of one of those fish that's only for people who are willing to catch it, or know people who are willing to catch it. It's a good treat.
This is literally cooked to absolute perfection, and the sauce on the fish is out of this world. This is like the best lunch really ever, and I think it was a very simple, easy recipe, and we don't get snook very often, so it's really, really good.
I'm glad Victor's back to his fishing on the beach roots, catching the snook for us. It, like everyone's saying, it's amazing, tender, delicious. It's nice to have lunch without a bun. This salad and this rice complement it perfectly. Very good. I'm honored to be invited here every time. So good. Thanks.
It was nice to be invited to have lunch with you guys. And this fish is literally cooked to perfection. There's a sriracha honey glaze on it, and it's super delicious. I really like it.
I'm really happy with it. It's exactly what I pictured the fish to come off on the grill. Still super tender. The sugars in that sriracha honey and all those herbs and everything kind of came together. You get the garlic, you get the lime juice, you get a little bit of everything. And then all that juice seeps onto your rice. I really like it. This is a recipe I highly recommend. And you don't have to do it with snook, snapper, grouper, whatever it may be, kingfish. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye!
This better go in the video.